Alright guys, we are here back with another tutorial on how to mine in Farming Simulator 25. This is the updated video, and there's some new mods out. As you can see, you got this giant, awesome Washplant behind me. So, yeah, anyways, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to need to do is install all of the necessary mods. I'm going to teach you how to do that real quick. It's super easy. I'll have all the links to these websites in the description of the video. Go down there, check it out, and make it a little easier. But most of them are on this realisticgamingcrew.com. It's pretty easy to download these. You're going to want to sort by fs25. And then this kind of has all the mods you'll need here. So you have two maps to choose from, Riverbend Timbers and Backcountry. Backcountry is their own original map. Riverbend Timbers is obviously Riverbend Springs, but it's like way bigger, has a bunch on the X size. Just for this purpose of this video, we're going to use this one. It's a little easier to get to the store. Anyways, you'll click on it. You'll go to download now. You're going to hit download, and they're going to hit download anyways. Okay, and that's going to download your mod. Leave it in that zip file, okay? So and you're going to want to do that for all the mods, okay? So you're going to go back into here, go back to the website, and then every mod you want, you're going to want to get. So you're going to want this Riverbend Timbers, RGC Productions, Hopper Feeder, Superstack, Sluice for Washplant, and Terraform. Terraform is a little different. When you click on this download now, it's going to take you to a different site here, but still pretty easy. Just scroll down to the how to download install. Click that to download, and then official machine add-on mod, click that to download. It's going to download two mods. Make sure you download both of them. But yeah, so download both those mods. And then a couple other mods you're going to want is you're actually going to need this GitHub link here, this material processor mod. You need this for the Slucifer Washplant to work. And then that's it for the essential mods to GOLDMINE. As for ones I also recommend, I definitely recommend a super strength mod of some kind, just because the Slucifer is really hard to move around. This just helps a lot. The equipment's really big, really hard to get on trailers by the nature of it. So super strength's really nice to have just for that. And then any FS miner mod, you know, excavators, things like that. Just you can explore these pages here, but excavator tool pack is a good one. Any of these are good. I recommend getting some of those mods as well. They will just kind of amplify your experience. But yeah, so that's how you download the mods or get the mods. Now I'm gonna show you how to download them. So now we're going to get these mods into your game, and how you're going to do that's pretty easy. Just go to your downloads, and you're going to copy paste all of those mods that you just downloaded. I have a bunch here because I've been messing with it, but you'll just copy paste the mods you want to install, copy them, leave them in the zip file. It's very important. Then you're going to want to go to Documents, My Games, Farming Simulator, and then Mods. If this mods file doesn't appear here, you probably don't have any mods installed ever. Just go into Farming Simulator and then download any mod from the mod hub, and it should start showing up. Okay. Anyways, you're going to go here. This file might be blank. You might have other mods here. Doesn't really matter. Just paste them all into here. Just right click and paste them. I already have them all in here, so I'm not going to do it again. A couple troubleshooting things. Make sure that you leave it in a zipped file. Do not extract the files. You need it to stay zipped. And sometimes if you have a copy, it will put this little 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You may have to rename it, right? Go and rename it and get rid of that if you're having trouble with one mod working or not working. Sometimes that fixes the issue. I've had that before. Or just, you know, delete the mod and reinstall it. Sometimes that fixes it. I also recommend limiting the amount of mods you have when you first try these mods, because sometimes there's conflicting mods and you don't want to mess with that if you can avoid it. So that's a couple troubleshooting things. So now that you have the mods installed, I'm going to show you how to actually use the mods in-game. This is the fun part. And one last thing that I do recommend that you get, get yourself a joystick. I'll have a couple listed in the description. I use the Logitech one. It's pretty cheap. It's only like 35 bucks, but it really elevates your experience, right? Because you can turn and scoop and pull in all at the same time. It's just a lot more fun to load the Washplant with one of these things rather than your controller. Anyways, not sponsored. I do have an affiliate link in the bottom though, if you guys want to check that out, but different couple options for that. So now you're going to start your game, go into Farming Simulator. I don't believe they'll show up in downloadable content. Just go to career, doesn't really matter. Start a new save file and just find the map you have. So I downloaded Riverbend Timbers 4X. I recommend also having government subsidies because you're going to need money. But yeah, so anyways, start with all the money you can. I would start with 0 loan. You can do this, you know, just play Farming Simulator. You guys know how to do that probably. Doesn't really matter too much, but yeah, go to Riverbend Timbers. Going to continue, and now these are all the mods I have installed. These are kind of the I deem essential for this. Macdon Pack, obviously not. I highly recommend government subsidies because I think Slucifer is like over $1 million, but it's going to cost you like $2 or $3 million just to get started. If you want to do a little grind up to it, you don't have to do that, but I recommend it. RGC Productions is kind of an essential one that you definitely have to have. This is just the map, and then Lucifer. Just kind of make sure all these are here. Terraforming isn't necessary, but it is super nice. And then vehicle processor, I believe you need for Lucifer. But then you'll just start the game. All right, guys, now that you're in game, I'm going to show you what you need to do to set up to actually gold mine. You're going to need a couple of different things. Obviously, first thing you're going to need is some land. I just bought this field here just for demonstration purposes, but these pay dirt cuts up here are really big, clear areas. I recommend starting in one of those. If you're on Terraforming, it doesn't really matter where you go. If you're not on the Terraforming map, I know that the RGC crew has one that's not. You will have to go to the actual cut for the proper inserts, but I recommend the Terraforming. It's a lot more fun. Anyways, you are also going to need a little bit of equipment, so you're obviously going to need a wash plant, and the conveyor belts are optional. I find them way easier to use, and you're going to need a wash plant. Obviously, Lucifer is awesome. I recommend it if you're doing a big wash plant. There's also some smaller ones and some other things you're going to need set up. So next, you're going to want to go into your construction menu, and you're going to have to buy a couple things here. So if you go down to factories, there is a wash plant here as well. There's a mini gold trommel. This is instead of Lucifer, so if you're doing like a 0 to hero run, you could use this one, or you could use Lucifer, obviously. They do the same thing, one's just a lot bigger. There's some other, productions here that you can mess with if you'd like, but the other thing you're going to need is a gold room, okay? So nothing too fancy with this. You just kind of place it down wherever. Doesn't really matter. And that should be about it as far as necessary equipment, but then you're going to have to run the wash plant and run everything. So how the terraforming mod works is it allows you to do a bunch of different things to set up to actually gold mine. So to use the terraforming mod, it should have this on the right-hand side of the screen. You should have a list of things. If it doesn't have there, your terraforming is not working correctly. Could be because you're using a wrong kind of bucket or something like that, or the mod you're using isn't compatible. But you're going to need to see that there. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit your right bumper, or get your machine settings. I'm on controller, so it's right bumper and Y. And that's going to open up this. And now this allows you to change materials and options here for the terraforming. What you're going to need for this one here, the material, you're going to want to change that to pay dirt. Okay, you're going to need this to be pay dirt. You could technically have it pull out anything. So basically what this is when you use your implement, when you dig, this is what's going to fill the bucket. Okay, texture is what's going to leave behind. This is just kind of be for your own personal opinion. I would probably go dirt or gravel or something, or mud. But this is what gets left behind in the hole that you're digging. Nothing too crazy with that. You don't really have to mess with all this other stuff. You can if you'd like. Not super essential though. And then clear foliage, probably want that on. Clear material, all this stuff you can kind of mess with how you want. Doesn't really matter too much. But the essential one is that you have to have the pay dirt as the option. Then what you're going to do is hit L1 and the down arrow, and that's going to turn on your terraforming. Okay, and then that lets you dig. So then all you have to do is just dig with it, and then you can scoop it up. One other thing is you might have to change your input mode. So if you hold L1 and triangle, you'll see on the right, I can paint, material, grade, smooth, lower. If you do lower, it's going to dig. And then your output mode, you can do the same thing, rise, grade, lower, smooth, paint, material. You're going to want to probably set it to terraform in material. The discharge material will fill your bucket, and then terraform lower will lower, obviously, the ground. If you just want to smooth out the ground too, that works. And then what you're going to do is fill up your wash plant. So all you have to do there is simply dump it into your conveyor belts, okay? One other side thing to note is when you go to set up your game, you're going to want to have automatic engine off, engine start. Make sure that it's off. That way when you turn on all your equipment, it will stay on. Okay, so you're going to want to go here. You're going to turn this bad boy on. And then you can turn on the hopper conveyor, and it's going to shoot it up to Lucifer then, okay? And then you're going to go to Lucifer and do the same thing. Hop into this bad boy. Turn this thing on. So I believe I turned it on. And then it's running. And you'll see I got on the right hand, it shows all my things, all the stuff that I'm using, filling up. And you may have to also change settings on this as well. How you want to do that is hold L1 and the up arrow to change configuration. You may have to change what the process is. So you can change it from dirt or pay dirt. Whichever you're pulling out of your bucket, that's what has to be here. So if you're just doing dirt, you can leave it as dirt. If you want it to be pay dirt, you can leave it as pay dirt. And then the outputs are all set. So make sure that's set up right. And then, yeah, it'll just run. And then if you run it long enough, it will dump out different kinds of things. So you'll have different kinds of tailings that will pop out of this thing. These are like coarse tailings out of the big one. You got fine tailings out of the little one. And then every once in a while, you'll get a bucket of concentrate. Okay. And when you get that bucket of concentrate, you're going to want to take that concentrate and you're going to want to put it in your shed here. Okay. You're going to want to run it over to this thing. And once you get it into your greenhouse, this is your production point. So when you get that concentrate, you put the concentrate in here, as you can see, and then out will come your gold, and then you can sell your gold. So that's just kind of how this works. Pretty easy, not too complicated. It's a lot of fun. Another reason why you're going to want that super strength mod is because this stuff's too heavy to carry on its own, so it's kind of a pain in the neck. But yeah, I recommend having that super strength. It'll help you move everything around. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for this video. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, a couple of tips throughout the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I do know these mods do have some issues sometimes, and I'll try to answer them. Hopefully other people can answer them as well. But leave a comment if you got any questions. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, all the fun stuff. And thanks for watching. Peace out.